Turn the lights down low and the volume way up for A24's ultra creepy new trailer for Undertone, in theaters on March 13th, 2026. Bloody Disgusting's Joe Lipsett wrote in his review at a Fantasia Fest, "I can't remember the last time a movie made every hair on my body stand up. But Undertone got me good." See for yourself and watch the trailer now. Then mark your calendar. Undertone dials into theaters this March on Friday the 13th.
Milo's Pro Rewards members. Go big during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Buy more and save more with up to 20% off job site essentials like primed finger joint boards when you spend $3,000 or more. Plus, get up to 25% off PVC DWV pipes when you spend $250 or more. Shop Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 1/23. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Escape to nature. Protect your peace. The path is before you. It never ends. It never ends. Some places never let you leave. You live here now. You live here now. Get tickets now for Return to Silent Hill. In theaters, January 23rd.
Carry on and plan the sequel, because let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel.
And welcome back to Micro Queers. It's our horror movie roundup, and I'm Joe.
And I'm Trace, and dun 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 dun.
Getting that theme in there. Okay.
Oh my god, like that's the new theme for this. Everyone, we are discussing the reboot of Anaconda, starring Jack Black, Paul Rudd, Steve Zahn, and Thandiwe Newton.
Yes.
And it's not good.
Yeah, Trace was really out of it that he wanted to have a conversation about this regardless of the quality. So I think we both went into this hoping, oh, okay, they must be doing this for a reason. Clearly they have some kind of excuse or rationale for bringing this back. And I think you were quite hopeful. I was trepidatious. And we said, well, regardless of how we feel, we'll have a conversation about it. And unfortunately, we both came out pretty negative.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm sitting at a 2 out of 5, which even then, I mean, because I chuckled at some points in this movie. There were 4 or 5 times in Anaconda's 97-minute runtime where I actually genuinely laughed. And so there are parts of this movie that work, but yeah, it's one of those things where I saw the director, we're working with Tom Gormican, who directed The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, that Nicolas Cage, Pedro Pascal movie.
Okay, which I also heard was high concept, but not particularly well executed.
And I liked it more. I thought the humor worked better. But after watching Anaconda, I'm kind of like, ooh, like maybe it was the Nick Cage, Pedro Pascal chemistry that was really saving that movie for me. I haven't seen it since I saw it at South by Southwest, so I can't really remember a lot of details, but I remember liking it. It was one of those like, oh, it's a good 3.5 out of 5 movie. It's not super subversive or revelatory, but it's a fun time. And
okay.
I think when I came into this, I was like, yeah, honestly, I knew that you didn't like it. I knew that the reviews, well, actually, the Rotten Tomato score for this movie, which is 52%, is
higher than I would have expected.
It is definitely, because I haven't talked to anybody who liked this.
Yeah. I saw this as a press and industry screening, but also it was one of those conjoined, contest winner screenings. And I will say that my audience was enjoying it. And I don't want to throw regular folks under the bus, but it felt like people just went in looking for a tepid holiday comedy. Like, hey, everybody's coming up on Christmas. Let's just settle into something that's not particularly offensive, not too challenging. And a lot of people did seem to have a good time with it, but I just found this particular brand of comedy really uninspired. Like, to me, the jokes were not hitting, and this is a comedy first and foremost.
There were a lot of moments watching this where I was like, I think that's supposed to be a joke, but it is not funny.
Funny.
And again, humor is subjective. And I do when we walked out, my husband was like, I think like 13-year-old boys are the prime audience for that movie. And maybe that's the case. And if so, good for them. I just truthfully, I found so much of this like just very
painful,
unfunny. Yeah, and here's the thing: I don't need a deep Anaconda reboot. I don't even mind that they turned it into a comedy. They're Jumanjifying this, but the problem is like this. And this is like a really lazy way of saying this, but like this is a SNL sketch that has been stretched to 97 minutes long, and like even as a movie, so much of this is barely there. And you know, we can talk about whether the movie and the writers involved have a reverence for the original film. I don't think they do. I don't think they even necessarily hate or poke fun at the original film that much. I don't even think they've seen it, to be honest.
I think they knew that Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube are in it because we managed to, spoiler alert, folks, get cameos from both of them in this film.
We sure do. Okay, well, so let's talk about what this is about first. So everyone, if you don't know what the reboot of this is about, and again, I think on paper, concept, it sounds good. It sounds good. You can make something interesting out of this. But yeah, so we have a group of friends, director Doug, played by Jack Black, actor Griff, played by Paul Rudd, who I'm going to say is aggressively unfunny in this movie.
The funniest thing is just how badly sunburned he is throughout this entire production.
Between this and Death of a Unicorn, I love Paul Rudd. And granted, I didn't see Friendship, the one he did with Tim Robinson earlier this year.
Which I think everybody would say, oh no, that's the good one of the three.
Yeah, absolutely. But what he's doing in this and Death of a Unicorn, I'm like, dude, like you need to get a new shtick or something. And I love Paul Rudd, but anyway.
This was not his year.
It was not. But anyway, so we've got him. We have his former flame, Claire, played by Tandy Wade Newton, who I think is the funniest out of the group, but is given, well,
almost the least amount to do apart from the fourth member, yes, which would be recovering Ada Kenny, Steve Zahn, who also someone who needs to fire their agent because, my God, man, you have been doing this your entire fucking career.
I was really hopeful after that first season of White Lotus that he would kind of like get on a new career trajectory. And that being said, though, with him and Jack Black here, I'm like, oh, cool. It's a Saving Silverman reunion. Saving Silverman, not a great movie, but kind of one of those like, it's really funny, like time capsules from 2001 type comedies.
Yeah, like if it's playing when you're visiting your parents and they have basic cable or something, maybe you watch it, but you're not going to go out of your way to track it down.
Yeah, but all these friends are going through their own like personal midlife crisis, and Griff, who works in Hollywood as a failing actor, you know, he tells the group he's obtained the rights to remake Sony's 1997 film Anaconda, which is their favorite movie from their teenage years, and so they go to the Amazon jungle to reboot the movie themselves. And again, great concept. I will say that in the film itself, I don't know why these people love Anaconda so much. We get one scene where they're in the diner and they're, you know, quoting one of Jon Voight's lines from the original film. And that's fine. But it feels like it would be more meaningful to have Anaconda like have like some kind of special meaning, or there was some event where maybe they all went to go see the film. Like, okay, Joe, I am a super fan of that original Anaconda film. When I was 8 years old and saw it in theaters, I was so obsessed with it that I went and like on the playground made a playground game called Anaconda that I made my friends play with me. Like that is a kid who loves Anaconda.
Yeah, that's what we needed to see, because here it truly just seems like they all wanted to make movies and Anaconda was kind of the thing that got that started. And that would be fine if that was more or less where it began and ended. But here it becomes this, oh God, we're all failed adults. So the only way to recapture the magic of our youth and maybe even the spark of life, like half of the characters in this film felt like they were close to suicide. That's the way we present the premise. Like they have nothing fucking going on with their lives. They're all losers. The only thing that's going to save them is if they remake Anaconda. So off we go to the jungle.
And here's the thing. That would be enough to sustain a plot of an 85-minute film, I think, on its own. But this film decides to add in this whole subplot involving gold miners. Like, okay, Joe, tell me you did not know that Anna, played by Daniela Melchior from the Suicide Squad, was the bad guy.
Oh, immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
And the fact that, like, we get her reveal, oh, she's actually the bad guy, like, you know, at the end of Act 2, and then she's immediately killed unceremoniously by this snake. God. And it's like...
It's so stupid.
Why is this even in the movie? It's such a waste. Unless we need red shirts to kill, but even on that level... There's not enough snake action in this movie.
Yeah, it feels like Gormican, so he's the director, but he also co-writes the script with Kevin Etten. And I will say, I don't even think this other guy really has other credits to his name, or at least not listed on Wikipedia.
Before you so he hasn't really done a ton of films. He's done a lot of television. So I will say he wrote like 64 episodes. I'm sorry, he was an executive producer for 64 episodes on Workaholics. But he had worked on like a TV show called Ghosted with, oh my God, it's Craig Robinson and Adam Scott, where that wasn't very good. He worked on that show Kevin Can Fuck Himself, and again, he wrote Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. So it's like oh, and the Beverly Hills Cop reboot from last year, which I didn't see because I've never seen a single one of those films. But nothing in his pedigree that would say, oh yeah, he's gonna do a good job with this.
Yeah, which is not to say that comedy people can't transition over to horror comedies and so on. It's just more, it felt like they didn't believe in what they were doing strongly enough. So they added in additional complications to beef up or provide action sequences and so on. Like, at the end of the day, sure, this is a comedy first and foremost, but it's also meant to be an Anaconda film. And there's a bunch of times where I just thought, where's the snake?
Yes.
Because we're doing drug runny, diamond mindy shit. And it was also so fucking nebulous. Like, if you ask me exactly where they're going and what is the specific, folks, we're talking about Congo as our audio commentary this month. And that movie at least kind of understands what a conflict looks like in a foreign country that is not North America. Mm-hmm. And I can't tell you anything about Anaconda. It's just like, oh, there's bad people who are doing bad things, and they get wrapped up with our foursome.
And I mean, look, we can talk about how there's no possible way with the footage they've acquired and how they were shooting this that they would actually put together a watchable movie that J-Lo wants to bankroll.
It would be 12 minutes. Like, at least I appreciated that in the climax, or rather in the coda of the film, when they screen it, it's a regional film festival. It's not like they're doing this at, like, in Hollywood. But yeah, then the only way we can shoehorn in the J-Lo cameo is to say, oh, she's impressed with this, which I say, my God, girl. I mean, she looks fantastic, but also I hope they paid her so well, because this is like debasing herself.
Well, and here's the thing, like this movie is making decent money. So this movie has a budget of $45 million, which I feel compelled to say is the exact same budget the 1997 film has. So
synergy.
Yes, but when adjusted for inflation, if we're going back in time, this movie would have cost about $22 million in 1997. Right. So it's cheaper and it looks it. But it's made $88 million worldwide, and about $45 million of that is in the States. So it's already doubled its budget worldwide. It might leg it out to triple, which would therefore make it break even. Whether or not we would get a sequel from this, or if I even want a sequel to this, I mean, here's the thing: if you put J-Lo as the lead in that movie or make her a big part of it, sure, but I'm still gonna walk in like, well, is it the same writer though?
I was gonna say I would want a different group of people at the helm of this, because just nothing about this movie inspired me. Now, I'm not gonna lie. You said comedy is subjective. I said that the comedy occasionally even felt punitive. I have never been a huge Jack Black fan. He does fall into the kind of Adam Sandler camp for me,
type camp.
Yeah, just their style of performance is very yelly, and I think a lot of people, as you said, maybe 13-year-old boys, can find this very, very funny, and it's just not for me. Like, I would have preferred more wordplay. I would have preferred more sight gags. I would have preferred a bit more physical comedy. I think we're going to talk about a couple of moments that do actually work for us, because, folks, we're not entirely down on this movie. There are elements that work, but overall, did I laugh at anything Paul Rudd or Jack Black were doing? No, not really.
I think Jack Black worked better for me. I'm not as averse to his performances as you are, but I also can't tell you, like, oh yeah, this is Jack Black's best performance, except maybe School of Rock, like maybe something like that.
That one's okay. Yeah.
I think that one's, but again, that's like a toned down version of Jack Black's performance, whereas Saving Silverman is the yelly Jack Black performance that you're talking about.
But Shallow Hal.
Oh yeah, you know what? I feel like
that one has a heart to it, but I will say that's also the Farrelly brothers, and they know how to do comedy.
That is very true. I mean, much like with Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell, though, I actually do really enjoy Jack Black's more dramatic performances. But I think compared to those other two, he has fewer of them.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so reviews. Yeah, we've got a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Letterboxd users have given this a 2.6 out of 5, which
seems a little more appropriate to me.
Yeah, although I guess when we think about it, a 2.6 out of 5 is kind of a 52% out of 100, so.
Fair. Yeah. I'm with you. I think I gave this like a 1.5 to 2. Like, I just really didn't enjoy myself, and it does feel too long, considering that it barely has a premise. How long it then overstays its welcome.
Yeah, and honestly, I think some of the funniest parts of the movie are like the actual footage they're shooting for the film, because everyone is just acting like overacting to an extent. And I thought it was kind of a missed opportunity to not do more of like 75% like the movie we're watching and 25% like the movie they're filming, like more interweaving those narratives, or even like thematically connecting the narratives. Because we have that moment when they're writing the script where they're like, it can't just be a snake eating people. It has to be about something. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It can just be about a snake eating people. But
well, okay, so talk to me then. How do you feel about the meta commentary? Because I will confess, I did get some smiles and chuckles when we threw Sony, who is the studio that produced this film, but like we have them, like it's revealed that Paul Rudd lied. He doesn't actually have the rights to this, and Sony is actually rebooting it. So we get another boat that's out on the water with real crew from Sony who are remaking Anaconda. And those moments I did feel kind of comedically inspired, but then we just trash that other boat and kill everybody immediately.
Off screen. We kill everyone off screen. Also, huge cop out to not actually show Jack Black being vomited up by this anaconda, because that is arguably the most memorable part of that original film, and that they try to homage it by look, he was vomited up. He's all gross, but like it's why don't we see that?
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think all the Sony meta commentary works. I was looking for more meta commentary and humor on the film, though, like on the original Anaconda, which this, again, I kept being like, where's the original film in all this? Like, I get it, we're following friends making a movie in the original film, they're making a documentary and blah, 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 but like, I was not convinced that any of these people had fully seen this film.
Yeah, it truly felt like they had done a Wikipedia search or maybe watched a trailer, so they knew who was in it. They knew that Jon Voight had the wacky accent, and they knew that it had a large snake in it. And then they said, cool, throw everything else away, or what else do we actually even need to know? We're just going to make it about these four losers rediscovering their joie de vivre.
Yeah, and we have we have two CGI snakes. I did actually really enjoy the pet snake. We'll get to him in a minute. But the big villain is this one monstrous snake. And again, like an issue that I have with this is that the snake, compared to the original film especially, doesn't really feel like a character. Now, granted, there are two separate snakes in that original film. The green one they kill at the waterfall, and the big mama red one they kill in the climax. And but there's this whole thing about the legend of the anacondas and like where you find them. And I was like, okay, this gives like a heft to these creatures and makes them feel like characters.
Right.
This snake in this movie, I was like, what is it? Why is it here? Why is it going after them? Any set piece involving a snake attack was so quick, there was no moment of coolness to any of these snake attacks. And I think no matter what you think of the original film, those snake attacks look pretty cool. Like, again, we have Jon Voight getting vomited up. We have that iconic outline of Owen Wilson in the body of the snake. We have Mateo getting his neck snapped. Like, there's so many cool things. And I get that maybe because we're playing with this is a comedy, not a thriller or a horror film. We don't want to do something that's too upsetting. But it just waters down your ostensible villain, to such an extent.
I'm laughing at the fact that you watered down. Well done. But, no, I agree with you. It does feel like there's no rhyme or reason. Like, is this snake just killing everybody who travels down the Amazon? Because it just feels like, if you're in the water, you're at risk for this thing absolutely massacring you. It doesn't matter if you try to go ashore. It doesn't matter if you're on a boat. It doesn't matter if you're just swimming in the water. It is going to fucking get you. But yeah, it feels so odd for a film that really isn't very interested in horror to then focus so much on this idea of keep the snake off screen and then do scattered, isolated attacks. Like, I'm just like, okay, you either need to lean into this or not, because it's giving very, 50%, like, okay, well, I guess you're going to do a little bit of it.
Well, and also because they keep saying, the Anaconda franchise. And I'm like, okay, cool. say anything about any sequel after that first movie. And as someone, again, big fan, like I've seen that second movie. I think it's fun. It's not great, but it's fun. There's a snake orgy in it, which I've talked about many times before. Mm-hmm. I have not seen a single one of the sci-fi movies, 3, 4, or Lake Placid versus Anaconda. But again, those seem like prime real estate also for being made fun of, and that we don't reference them at all in this movie is bizarre to me.
Yeah, there's this weirdly reverential but completely non-specific appreciation of the original 1997 film, but then we're talking about it as if it's recognizable IP, like it's this franchise that everybody knows. And I was like, no, people know the original, but most people don't know any of the sequels, and definitely not the Lake Placid crossover. But
super fans like these characters should know.
They should know it, or it should be like, we're a super fan of exclusively that first film, and there should be a throwaway mention of, well, the rest of them are garbage.
Yeah.
And that's why we're remaking this. But it's like, that's a funny avenue to potentially pursue. Or you go the one cut of the dead route and you make fun of the way that we are filming this, like super low budget, guerrilla filmmaking and so on. Like, either of those options would have been superior to the just... Honestly, this feels so tepid and phoned in. Yeah. It feels like a lazy cash grab, which the movie then acknowledges, but it seems to think that's the joke. And I'm like, no, you did that. This is lazy, and you did it for the money, for the IP.
But I think that's the issue. Is I think this movie feels like it thinks it's a lot better and smarter than it is. Like there's a smugness, especially as we get into the climax, where I'm like, okay, you think you're funnier than you are, and that's a big problem. Like, there would be, because when we talk about parodies, I know this is not a parody, but like,
might as well be.
But the thing is, it's not referencing the original film enough to be a parody. But there are, like, I think the worst parodies are parodies that don't have they poke fun, but they're also reverential towards the original. The worst parodies are the ones that are mean-spirited and seem to just be making fun of the original.
They don't even like the text.
Exactly. Now, this film, though, honestly, I would have even taken that, because it at least would have meant that we were getting more references to the original film and playing with it a bit. This one just feels nothing. Like, this could have been any other film in Sony's catalog that wasn't Anaconda, as long as it was set in the rainforest.
Yeah. Like, you could have done that Sean Connery Ants That Cure Cancer movie, Medicine Man or something. This could have been the opening of Arachnophobia. Right? Yes. Now, and so, okay, what about these character arcs? I mean, and I'm using that in quotation marks, because, Doug is, whatever, Griff wants to be an actor. Claire, I mean, she's supposed to be an actress, but also her main arc is that she just got divorced. Like, oh, wow, how revolutionary for the only female character in this movie.
Yeah, and that's really it. But then Kenny, Steve Zahn, he's a recovering addict.
The movie makes fun of his addiction, but not even in a smart way. Like, this, honestly, in 2025, felt very, like, it's not even offensive. It's just poorly handled. Yeah, and here's the thing. Even if it was offensive, which, I mean, I think it is deep down. I don't think that's the intent. I just think it's really dumb and, like, not dealt with. But I could take it even being offensive if it was funny. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think it was funny. We have a 3-minute long sequence where we have to pee on Jack Black's foot for logic that I don't think is accurate, actually. No. And that's the joke. I think that's meant to be the joke. I guess, but like this felt like it was ripped out of the mid-2000s. Oh, yeah. Back when the biggest thing that could happen would be two straight men showing their dicks to each other or having to get kind of sexual or naked around each other. In this case, it's, well, whip your dick out and pee on me. And the joke is that Steve Zahn's character can't pee in front of people. He's pee shy. That's part of his fucking arc. Dude, okay. The whole, end of the movie, this is where everyone end up. Like, his entire thing is, he can now pee at a urinal in public now. That is what we are left with the Steve Zahn character. Yeah. Now, again, I will say my audience, who was kind of eating a lot of this shit up, got a lot of humor out of, how do we all pile onto Jack Black to pee on him? So mileage may vary, I guess. I confess, when we cut to the position they were all in, I did go, I chuckled a little bit, but right. It wasn't because any of the writing was good. Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't we talk about a joke or two that actually does work for us? I will give mine, which is Anything Santiago. So this is the snake handler played by Selton Mello. Was not familiar with this actor, but I gathered he does have a bit of a kind of sketch performance-y background. And this guy, he's doing a soft accent. It's not John Voight ostentatious, but it does feel like this is where they're trying to shoehorn that element in. But he is in love, like literally in love with his snake, who is an actor or a performer on this fake Anaconda film. And there's a moment where you can see it in the fucking trailer because the marketing for this movie sucked balls. And Paul Rudd throws the snake into the propeller of the boat and it gets all cut up. So they have to hold a funeral, but like just every way that this gentleman reacted to snakes and how much he hated Paul Rudd, I found very funny.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. So when we actually quote unquote kill him first, because spoiler alert, we also revealed in the credits that he is not dead, which doesn't make any sense.
No.
I was really bummed because I was like, this is the funniest character you have in the movie. You're getting rid of them.
Yes. What I think is actually the most effective sequence of horror, though, because it actually feels the closest to that Mateo sequence from the original film.
I agree. And I do think that we are trying to do the John Voight of it all here. Now, Mello is an actual Brazilian actor, but I think, I don't know, maybe this wouldn't have worked better for either one of us, but I think if you're going to make this the quote-unquote John Voight character, then make the accent even, like...
bigger.
More unintelligible than John Voight's accent. And just, there could be a joke where it's like, oh, I guess everyone in Brazil speaks like this. I don't know. Like, just something to do with the original film.
Yeah. Okay, but you also got a comedic high point out of Newton's character, particularly, I think, during this
snake funeral.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I thought all the overacting from her when they were filming their movie was the best. Paul Rudd wasn't really doing it for me.
No.
But yeah, I believe it's Claire who just starts going, snicky snake, snake, snickety snake, like during the funeral. Which I was like, this is...
it's baffling and hilarious.
I was belly laughing. Did you catch, too, by the way, when the snake actually goes into the propeller, like when they're all reacting to it? That's the only time in this movie that we use a piece of score from the original film.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
We do like the pan flute playing for that. It's just a typical thing. But then again, I was like, okay, well, you're going to do this. Why don't you have some of this score then like homage and play with that original film? But
right.
I also, I will confess, I belly laughed when Jack Black is running with that boar corpse on him and the boar is revealed to be alive.
Yes. Yeah. I was initially quite frustrated because the movie definitely makes you think, oh, he has died as they were trying to flee through the jungle. He gets got, and then we all have this sad moment. And then we discover his body and we realize, oh, the only way we're going to make it across this field is if we prop him up and use him as bait to lure the snake or distract the snake. So yeah, they put this dead boar on top of him. And that is all in the trailer. Yep. So it's so drawn out that I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. The marketing has ruined this movie again for me. So I wasn't impressed by any of this. But then, yeah, when he wakes up and he realizes, oh, the snake is coming for him, he starts to run with it on him. Ha ha, but not really. But then the boar starts making noises because it too. Yeah. So
and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And that was funny. So I'm in some ways it reminded me a little bit of Final Destination Bloodlines, where I thought, okay, well, fuck you, marketing. You know, you took your best joke and you put it in the trailer, and I already know, so now I'm not impressed. But then it actually went past that and surprised me. So I did enjoy this as well.
Yes, and the other joke that I did really enjoy. So this actually is an Ice Cube joke, and I was not spoiled by this cameo in the marketing, so I was not expecting this. Although. Given the trio that survives the original film, if we were gonna get a cameo, I was expecting Ice Cube.
Right, of course.
But he has a line, you know, where they're asking, oh my God, is J-Lo and Eric Stoltz okay? Because apparently all three of them are coming back for the reboot, which, haha. But he says, well, Jenny's from the block, so she'll be all right, but Eric, he ain't from the block. I thought that was so funny.
Which it feels very appropriate for that original film, right? Because Eric Stoltz famously, he gets, poisoned by
the wasp,
the trachea. So he's just out of that film for the entire time. So the idea that, the actor Eric Stoltz also cannot handle his shit in this remake, it is funny.
And I mean, I get why we probably couldn't do this, but I'm like, well, it would have been a bigger surprise if all three of them just popped up at some point during this climax.
I think so. Or even, I'm not going to lie, I would have found it hilarious if all three of them had have shown up in this, very action movie cliched ending where they're like, we're here to help, and they just get immediately killed.
Yes, also would have liked that. I mean, the climax of this movie is also so boring. Like, we have to, we're driving through a film set, Ice Cube runs off to do something, and they're going to set up all these pyrotechnics, and I was like, but those pyrotechnics, I'm pretty sure, are meant to, not kill things. So, why?
Yeah, you're not meant to be directly in front of them, and obviously there's quite a lot of them. So I just took it as, okay, I guess because the snake is so big and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of looks like we're setting off fireworks around the snake, and it somehow kills it.
And, it doesn't kill it anyway, because they have to blow it up later, which is fine. But it's a CGI snake, which, again, I think that we're seeing that in the budget here. So $45 million can no longer pay for an animatronic snake.
Apparently not. And let's just say it. The snake doesn't look good.
No. It doesn't look worse than the sci-fi film CGI snakes, but I don't think it looks particularly better. And those are from 15 years ago.
I was going to say, I don't think those films had a $45 million budget. The reality is that we went with star power. We went with recognizability, and then we tried to cash in on the Christmas to New Year's box office bonanza. And it's mostly work for this film. So I guess smart play on their part, but I don't know anybody who actually likes this movie.
The thing. I was thinking about this with Rotten Tomatoes yesterday, where I was like, I wonder if it's just because they're anyone with a blog now is on Rotten Tomatoes. So
wow, way to shit on the thing that we all used.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think that Rotten Tomatoes is as well curated as it was even 3 or 4 years ago.
I mean, I think that's probably a larger conversation that we can have for sure. But I would say there's been a dearth of relatively straightforward comedies. You and I were voting in our respective guilds, and one of the things we had to vote for was Best Comedy of the Year. And the short list was sad. You and I both went for The Naked Gun. I think Splitsville is in there.
Oh, I like Splitsville
and then it's
a lot.
What else was there? Yeah. Comedies are a dying genre. So.
Well, they're going to keep dying if we keep getting them like this.
Ooh,
and that's
spicy.
The thing. I know. We can wrap up soon because I'm getting into my, I'm just rage angry.
A little bit. You're a little venti.
But it's a thing where, look, if this makes enough money to merit a sequel, cool. The problem is it's going to continue this kind of movie. And again, I just as someone who's I love that original Anaconda, and I get it, Sony's we can't spend $45 million on a snake horror film. No one wants to go see that. There's no evidence. I would just say look at Crawl, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think my frame of comparison, which I talked about in my review of this, was Jumanji. And I think that is a version of how to do it right. And then Anaconda is a version of how to do it wrong.
And that's where it all comes down to the writing. Because I do think this cast, if given the right material, could have the chemistry. They all seem like good friends.
I mean, it looked like they were having a good time. I just wasn't there with them. But, I think the movie also mistakenly confuses their shitty arcs as some kind of emotional or heartfelt catharsis.
No.
I think we're meant to cheer for these loser underdogs by the end of the film. And I just thought, I'm sorry, I don't believe any of this.
Nothing in this film felt substantial. Nothing is taken seriously. And if the film isn't going to take any of this seriously, even a comedy, why should I?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do a comedy with heart. We've actually seen many, many versions that do work. You can also just do outright comedy and no message at all. The film seems to suggest it's doing the former, and I would argue it's not even giving us the latter. To me, this totally didn't work at all.
No, I'm right there with you. And it's a real bummer because I think, and this will be my last thing before we're done, but I think when they announced they were going to reboot Anaconda, I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. We're finally showing some love to this film that has been, I think, unfairly maligned. I feel for a lot of people, the original film is a joke. And you and I have rewatched it relatively recently, and there's a lot of genuinely good things in that original film. I don't think it's even close to being a bomb or Razzie Award winner. I think it's a solid film, and it's a great creature feature.
We've got a whole audio commentary on it, folks.
Yep, and so I was excited for this, but now it's if we're... I'm excited because Sony wants to give money to an Anaconda reboot, but they only want to give money to it if we're doing it like this. And I don't have high hopes for a sequel if we get one, but I'm still going to go see it, so whatever.
Whereas I don't think I would. Even if they announce, okay, we're going to do it. Here's the thing. If they said we're going to do it, but it's got an entirely different creative team behind it, maybe.
Or if we just actually ignore this and just make it an actual legacy sequel to the original Anaconda with like Terry and not J-Lo, you know?
Right.
But we're never, ever, ever going to do that.
No.
So anyway, okay, well, everyone, let us know what you thought of this. Clearly, we were not big fans. But I am genuinely curious for anyone that this did work for. Like, please elaborate. I'm genuinely curious.
And we apologize if you did like this and we offended you. I truly do think for me specifically, it's that the comedy was not to my liking. And I found a lot of this to be a bit of a slog as a result.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. But until next time, we can cross out Anaconda.
Indeed. And cross out microqueers.
Welcome back to Silent Hill.
Did it, didn't you, Jimmy? You woke him up.
Based on the groundbreaking video game Silent Hill 2.
No one said it would be easy.
Get tickets now for Return to Silent Hill, exclusively in theaters January 23rd.